Hello and welcome to Staff TV's Sports Night. We're your hosts, Will.
And I'm Coco, and we'll be guiding you through all the sporty goings-on, both worldwide and local.
We're going through exciting times as far as professional sport is concerned, what with the Super Bowl last week, the Winter Olympics right around the corner, and the Football World Cup fast approaching. We'll come up with two of those on tonight's show.
And things are equally as exciting on home turf, with varsity on the horizon, the latest results from team staffs, and we also have the debut of this year's Staffs TV's varsity logo. The biggest game in America's sporting year was last week, and I think it's fair to say it left a fair few people disappointed. If not for the lack of excitement resulting in a shocking score, then for the controversial halftime show. I am, of course, talking about the Super Bowl, which saw the Seattle Seahawks go head-to-head with the Denver Broncos. The game had a promising start for the Seahawks, and that's how it stayed, with them pummeling the Broncos to a 43-8 victory. 111.5 million people tuned in to watch, but not all of them were interested in the game. The halftime show is one of the reasons so many people tune in, and this year's 13-minute set went to Bruno Mars and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. The performance seemed all right on the night, but it has since been revealed the Chili Peppers were miming their instruments. One of the biggest highlights of the Super Bowl is the ads in between. The favourite this year was Budweiser's Puppy Love, a feel-good story about a puppy who keeps escaping his owner to go see a friend, a horse. The ad has the fitting hashtag of #BestBuds. Now though, from one disappointing score to a few more, I'm afraid, team staffs haven't been at the best of late. The only Stoke home game last week was men's volleyball with a 3-0 loss against Coventry. The Stoke away games were also hit and miss for their scores, with a rough 50-50 split of wins and losses. The matches for Stoke were as follows: a 12-0 loss for men's tennis against Worcester, a 125-98 win for men's fencing against Nottingham, another win for men's lacrosse at 10-1 versus Lincoln, a 2-3 loss for men's football against Derby, women's basketball lost 26-7 against Birmingham, a win for women's netball with a 20-18 against Warwick, men's hockey lost 3-0 against Loughborough, and finally, men's basketball won 84-53 against University College of Birmingham. Only 2 games for Stafford this week, and neither of them had a good result. Men's basketball lost 44-79 against Wolverhampton, and men's football lost 3-1 to Birmingham City. And this just in, team staffs have currently been performing well today, with a men's hockey match against Nottingham Trent resulting in a 4-1 win to staffs, and a women's lacrosse match against Lincoln resulting in a cracking 17-0 win for staffs. Now over to Will, who is joined by Chris Pendleton for a discussion about the Winter Olympics.
Thanks, Coco. I'm here with Chris Pendleton. So, Chris, are there any new events in this year's Winter Olympics?
Well, new events for these Olympics, obviously big week for sport. New events being women's ski jumping. Basically, for the past 3 Olympics, Salt Lake City, Torino and Vancouver, it's been campaigning to be part of the Olympic programme. This time around, it has been included. So, big props to those in the women's ski jumping. Also, more towards the extreme sports side, snowboarding and skiing slopestyle. Basically, the influence of X Games has been huge because obviously the athletes in the X Games have been campaigning for the sports to be made Olympic, and slopestyle has been the latest one to be put into the programme. But the news coming out today being that Shaun White, being the superstar of snowboarding, multiple winner of the half-pipe gold medal, he has been excluded. Well, he has excluded himself from the slopestyle competition this time. Basically, just because he thinks that the course that has been set up for the Sochi Olympics has been too intimidating, and this viewpoint has been echoed by a number of other athletes competing in the same sport.
So, GB 2010, 1 gold medal, Amy Williams in skeleton. How do you rate their prospects this year? Well, with Amy Williams being retired now, obviously it means that there are still medal hopes out there. In skeleton, Shelley Rudman and Lizzie Arnold being the 2 main medal hopefuls for the Olympics. Basically, Shelley Rudman won the World Championships back in 2012, and Lizzie Arnold being the new World Champion crowned in 2013. Also with curling, the 2 Scottish teams representing GB, Eve Muirhead skipping the women's team, and David Murdoch skipping the men's team, multiple world champion, European champion. Also with the short track speed skating, Elise Christie, recently crowned the European champion. So, many hopefuls out there. And with the new sport, slopestyle,
James Woods, medalist at the X Games, also another medal contender.
So arguably one of the most popular Winter Olympic sports, the ice hockey.
Yep.
America and Canada tend to dominate. Anyone looking to try and knock them off their perch?
This time around, obviously the game's being in Russia. Russia are hoping to do well on home ice. Alex Ovechkin being the captain, he was humiliated last time in Vancouver with his team losing in the quarterfinals to Canada pretty heavily at an 8-3 loss. So they would be probably the main contenders along with Canada for these games. Outside hopefuls though, obviously America lost in the final back at Vancouver and Salt Lake City back in 2002 to Canada. So they want retribution. Plus outsiders being Sweden and Finland, very recent world champions respectively. So the ice hockey is the one to watch. And with the men's competition starting the 12th, and after the opening ceremony on Saturday begins the women's competition also. And
finally, Russia, just following the recent media controversy, has it affected any participants, any countries deciding not to
So far,
take part?
No, and that's a good thing because obviously athletes who are gay have not been forthcoming in saying, look, we don't want to be participating in these games. They have said we want to participate, and that's the good thing. They're showing that basically we do not agree, but you're not putting us off. And the recent images have been coming out through the hotel rooms as well. Not only is the whole laws problem affecting the games, but also the preparation of the games also, with a lot of the hotels not even finished. And for example, the men's Canadian ice hockey team, one of their bedrooms has 7 single beds with 1 bedside table. So not really adequate not adequate living facilities for athletes participating in the Olympic Games. So we'll all see what happens come the games.
Thanks very much, Chris. And that's Friday when it all kicks off. So back to Coco for varsity now.
Thanks, Will. Varsity 2014 is almost upon us. The 26th of March will see Team Staffs go head-to-head against Kiel in a series of 19 fixtures, all taking place on the same day. The day is an absolute feat of endurance for anyone involved, from the planning and organising to all of those competing in the event, and this year is set to be no different. We have the American football, the men's basketball and also the men's rugby. Most of this will be available for your viewing pleasure, as Staffs TV will once again be there, covering most of the action. And this is Staffs TV's logo for the event.
This week, so join us same time next week for a brand new episode of Any Answer Will Do. And don't forget, you can watch this and any of our other shows online at staffstv.co.uk or on our YouTube page.
Thanks for watching. Bye.